All right, welcome back to the channel. Okay, it's Saturday, so I have time to get into this malarkey that they are spreading about Tyson Fury's money. You knew it was coming, but Forbes Magazine has Tyson Fury as the #1 paid combat sports person in the world at $57 million in the last year. They have Deontay Wilder, I do believe, at #3 with $46 million, and Canelo Alvarez at #4 with $35 million. Therefore, you would think that Tyson Fury is the #1 paid combat sports guy. Let me assure you that is a load of malarkey. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. We're going to discuss this. And yes, for you Tyson Fury people that are going to say, oh, Fanon, you're just hating on Tyson Fury. No, not hating on Tyson Fury. I've said this about Forbes magazines when they were doing this stuff for Anthony Joshua, where you look at the numbers that they give and they just don't make sense, especially if you're a boxing channel that watches all of this stuff play out for the entire year. And let me tell you that unless they've got some secret squirrel information out there, what they're saying has to be way off one way or another. So let's go into that. But before I do, special thank you to everybody that is a subscriber to the channel, that continues to support the channel. I know sometimes I give videos that are not necessarily the most popular view in the world, but I'm going to give you what it is that I think and what I see, and sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't agree, but I appreciate you guys continuing to come and chop it up with me. This is more than likely going to be one of those type of videos for some people. Also, thanking everybody that supports in the Patreon, also as a channel member, a YouTube channel member, and people that support through super chats and cash apps and the like on the live streams we do Monday through Friday. So first of all, let me tell you why I believe that this is just ridiculous, that this just doesn't make sense to me. I'll put it that way. The numbers that they're giving do not add up. Let's go. So, and then I'll talk about why I think this is. So, all I'm going to talk about here is the money that they said came from boxing matches, not these sponsorships, because I have no idea how to validate how much anybody gets on sponsorships versus the money that they earn in purses, right? So Tyson Fury was supposed to have $57 million. $7 million of it were going to be as sponsorships. So, okay, $7 million on sponsorships. That leaves $50 million for purses. Okay. Deontay Wilder, $46 million in purses, $500,000 in endorsements. So you get $46 million. So Tyson Fury, $50 million. Deontay Wilder, $46 million. And then you have Canelo Alvarez lower at 35. Now, first and foremost, I can brush off the entire thing with Canelo Alvarez, okay? Canelo Alvarez is the highest paid fighter and boxer. And I don't think that it's any doubt about it. If you look at the dates that they used, they said from June to June. Well, we really haven't had boxing from June to June. We had boxing from June, and I'll say June because that's when they do their thing every year, from June to February. Okay, because March, April, and May, there hasn't been any boxing. And if there had been boxing for the last 3 months, Canelo Alvarez would have had an opportunity to finalize and take a fight and make another $35 million. And he would have been at $70 million right now versus $35 million. So just off the cuff, and I don't think that is any, that is just the methodology, that the time frame that they're using for the people that are writing the articles for Forbes. But if you want to know who the highest paid fighter is, it's Canelo Alvarez, because he's getting $35 million per fight. He only fought one time. Now, you can also throw the numbers off a little bit because, for example, Deontay Wilder only fought between June and June. He fought 2 times. Between June and June, Tyson Fury fought 3 times because May, which is the 5th month, May was the fight that Deontay Wilder had against Dominic Brazil. So that was at the tail end of the last one. And June was the fight against Tom Schwartz for Tyson Fury. So there is that, just the whole thing as far as like the timing of the fights. Now, I would say, you really can't say June to June because boxing and all sports have been shut down for that whole time. So really, if you look at what the guy's getting paid, as long as Canelo Alvarez has an opportunity to fight, the highest paid guy is going to be Canelo Alvarez. But let's look at that aside, because that's just an obvious one. But let's look at this $50 million and the $46 million for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, because that's where the nonsense is. Okay, let me tell you why I think this is nonsense. Because we know how much money Deontay Wilder was paid for Luis Ortiz. And we know how much money Tyson Fury was given for Tom Schwartz and Otto Wallin, right? These are reports that are out that you can do your own research and look. Deontay Wilder made estimated $20 million against Luis Ortiz in a pay-per-view. Now, why could he get $20 million in a pay-per-view? Because he gets his purse, plus he gets a percentage of the things that are sold. And he got the lion's share of it because he was fighting Luis Ortiz. That wasn't a 50-50 split. So he had an originally guaranteed something like $3 million, and Deontay and Tyson and Luis Ortiz was like at 1.5, but Luis Ortiz wound up making $7 million and Deontay Wilder wound up making right about 20. So we'll take the 20, that's 20 million, right? For Deontay Wilder in his first pay-per-view last year against Luis Ortiz. And these were commonly accepted numbers. So that tells you how much did he make against Tyson Fury? Well, that leaves $26 million for Tyson Fury. $26 million. Now, Tyson Fury there was more pay-per-view buys for Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder than there was Luis Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder. However, the differentiation between the 26 and the 20 could be explained by the fact that Deontay Wilder got all of the pay-per-view money that was coming to the boxers versus Luis Ortiz, and he had to split it with Tyson Fury. But regardless, the $20 million for Luis Ortiz is the commonly accepted number for that. That leaves $26 million of what Forbes is saying Deontay Wilder earned for Deontay Wilder in the Tyson Fury fight, right? 20 plus 26 equals $46 million. Let's look at Tyson Fury, though. Tyson Fury is said to have made $50 million. Well, we know now how much he got for Deontay Wilder. He would have received $26 million because it was a 50-50 split, right? $26 million for his pay-per-view fight. And then he had two other fights besides that. One was Otto Wallin and another one was Tom Schwartz. So between those two fights, you have to make up an additional $24 million between the Otto Wallin fight and the Tom Schwartz fight. Now, because we have Nevada State Athletic Commission, because those fights took place in Las Vegas, we know what Tyson Fury's purses were. They were $1 million for Otto Wallin and $1 million, roughly $1 million for Tom Schwartz. That means we now have $2 million. So now we went from $26 million with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, then add $2 million for his other two fights in purses, and you get $28 million. So now how much money do we still have remaining? We have from 28 to 50. We still have another $22 million to find. Originally, it was $24 million to find, excuse me. Now we have two more out of the purses. Now we just got to find another $22 million. Now, where could this $22 million come from? Because we do know that purses are not the only sources of revenue, right? There's oftentimes you say somebody has forces, but then they have the purse, but then they also get merchandising, right? They might get a cut of the ticket sales. There's different streams of revenue. But from the different strains of revenue from the Otto Wallin fight and the Tom Schwartz fight, you have to find $22 million. That's $11 million per fight you have to find. Right? Do you remember what the numbers were for those fights? They were not sellouts, and they were on ESPN Plus. They weren't pay-per-views. There was roughly 3,000 people that attended. I think they said something like 1,500. Well, let me be gracious to it. Say there was 5,000 people that attended, but there wasn't. I think it was 3. They said less than 3 actually bought tickets. So how do you get $11 million in extra revenue out of a fight with 2,000 to 3,000 tickets sold at $100 a pop? Last time I checked, 3,000, say it was 100 times 100 makes $300,000 in ticket sales per fight. If there were $100 a ticket, which is average, which is reasonable. So you're looking at another $300,000 in revenue between the two fights. So you're looking at $600,000 in revenue. Where do you get $11 million out of $600,000 in extra revenue coming from the ticket sales? There isn't a pay-per-view. So you're not getting any cut from the pay-per-view sales. So what they're trying to lead you to believe is that Otto Wallin and Tom Schwartz generated $22 million in extra revenue for Tyson Fury, who, by the way, let's also remind you that in the scenario where you're looking at Deontay Wilder's money and saying how much money did he make, you don't even have to take out promotional fees. With Tyson Fury, you've got promotional fees for Top Rank and Frank Warren's organization. So where's this $22 million coming from? So here's the only way that this works out that I can find. Either they're seriously underestimating how much Deontay Wilder actually made, because they would be saying, hold on, we only got 2. If you get gracious with it, you might have $6 million at $3 million for Tyson Fury after, with all the extra stuff for Otto Wallin and Tom Schwartz, which gives you $6 million plus the $26 million. That makes $32 million for Tyson Fury. So either you are really underestimating the amount of money that was made in the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight, or you're just accepting some bullpucky numbers that were thrown out there by Tyson Fury. And we do know of the bullpucky numbers that have been thrown out when Tyson Fury said that he was going to be getting $100 million for 6 fights. And that has to be where they got the $10 million from for Otto Wallin and Tyson, from the Otto Wallin and Tom Schwartz fights, out of the mouth of Tyson Fury, which, by the way, was dispelled by Bob Arum. When Bob Arum was like, man, when he said, I heard you're paying him $100 million. Because at the time we were like, yeah, that's like $10 million a fight. He was like, man, we're not paying him that much money. And this is Bob Arum we're talking about. When has Bob Arum ever been known to be that gracious with money? And think about this. The fights with Otto Wallin and Tom Schwartz, it took place on ESPN Plus, right? In a damn near empty stadium in Las Vegas. According to what Forbes is saying, would have caused him to earn more money than either Terrence Crawford or Vasily Lomachenko in their fights, because we know that Terrence Crawford is making about $3 million a fight, because that was given out on Trill Boxing Talk by Terrence Crawford's trainer Bomac. So they're looking at about $3 million a piece for those fighters, but somehow, and they're actually selling tickets, right? Because there's actually tickets being sold for events for Vasily Lomachenko in New York, and tickets being sold for Terrence Crawford in New York, versus nobody showing up for fights, those Otto Wallin fights. But how does Tyson Fury wind up getting almost twice as much money for those fights as Terrence Crawford and Vasily Lomachenko are getting? It just doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't make any sense because more than likely it's not true. And this is not the first time somebody has said something about Forbes Magazine making estimates about how much money people are making and saying, nah, man, that is way off. The prime note of that is, what's her name? The Kardashian, the young Kardashian, the chick that said they were a billionaire, and she said that she was overestimating her wealth or something, and she said basically like it's crazy to even hear that from them because they have so much inaccurate information and information that they don't have any access to, that they're reporting on it, that she just blew off the whole thing. And I think as far as this money with Tyson Fury goes, man, you don't know how much money these guys are making because this stuff right here is just nothing but media hype. But anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.